the topic of analysis. But as we're heading in there, how about if you first try to check our social media platforms? Please do follow us on Twitter at Smart24TV. Please do follow on Facebook at Smart24TV. Our official website is www.smart24tv.com, and then YouTube is Smart24TV. We are streaming live. Smart24TV Space Live is where you can definitely get these services, but do remember to hit the subscription button. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko, yours truly, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Jerome Paul Sonko. You can definitely follow me up on there. Okay, away from that, let's try to focus on the issue regarding this Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. There has always been complaints because what we are going to be analyzing here is the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority telling every employee under the sector of aviation, telling every employee under working at the airport that with effect they will no longer be allowed to have phones or to work with mobile phones while on duty. Complaints are coming in and people getting the complaints right. If you look at the developing story here with the scenario that was actually caused a lot of social media backlash with during the elections of 2021, when the leader of opposition by the time, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, was actually sending his children out of the country a few days prior to the elections, and someone posted a picture of the children flying out with their auntie, and posting a picture of their flight to the various destinations, also showing a picture. The picture that was also posted also showed where they were actually going to stay, the airline they were going to use, and this created public backlash. Like I said, people are actually asking themselves, so there is no room for privacy in this country, because and how do people who are supposed to be on duty access phones to start taking pictures of people flying out of the country? So look at that in such a manner. The Uganda Civil Aviation Authority staff are no longer allowed to use mobile phones and other personal devices on duty at the Entebbe International Airport. As the General Manager, Entebbe says it has been noted with concern that the use of personal phones and other devices by airport staff while on duty has continued unabated despite consequent security and safety concerns. Have you ever gone to an organization and you wanted some help from people, and then the people who are supposed to help you out are busy on their phone scrolling, texting? It's WhatsApp, it's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, TikTok, and someone is just completely not giving you attention. And I've got this several times with various receptionists at a time, whereby people normally say receptionists are the most rude people you'll ever meet in Uganda, because most of the people who are working for the for the non-government organizations, as well as people who are working for private sectors and having a receptionist, people normally have issues with them, saying that they are really rude. First of all, they lack customer care, and among which, if you look at the claims that people have, is the fact that some of them have phones on duty. While on duty, someone is on the phone scrolling, and then you ask yourself a question: what is wrong with this one? We are supposed to be doing something that is going to add to us, but then surprisingly, you ask them and you're wondering what is happening. Nti nogenda ku mulimu oba nogenda mu kifo ozze kusaba buyambi, tugambe ogenze government office nosanga nga wazze osaba obuyambi, omuntu ali busy ali ku simu takuliko. And in most cases, if you turn to ask for help at the time when someone is scrolling through their phone, you become a distraction. You become an enemy of progress. Omuntu omusanga ali ku scrolling naka video ke kalaba ku TikTok, Facebook or Instagram, ali ku Twitter, tweetinga waliwo topic emusanyusiza. Nomutawanya inza noku, you know, the facial reaction normally says it all. And for people who respond quickly to a facial reaction, no gain for, and the response you get from someone who is supposed to welcome you is different by just the look at the face, and you're like, I think one will see just so. So, and this goes back to the use of smartphones. But not only that, the generation. Our generation is one which has been driven straight to the smartphones. Most of us use them for studies, school, and business, and work-related issues. Some people use the smartphones in a different way. Others use them for entertainment, fun, and what have you. And this is where you will definitely see that in most cases, the phone becomes a distraction. And once a phone becomes a distraction, there is no way you're going to get back at it. Now, for example, let's look at this. Meanwhile, let's try to look at this. We have issues with how people handle their phones. Normally, if I am to actually just take this back to you, is that before you sleep in this generation, this is one of the most evident examples that I can just give out to you. You can just relate. Before you sleep, you have to first check through your phone and check and see whether is there any message or is there any trending story that you have to see. Is there something that you've missed out? First thing you do in the morning, maybe after prayer or even before prayer, you find out someone checking on the phone. That is why you've seen people having their sockets next to their bed. In that once he's out of battery, he just spins it on the socket, charges, just to check on, to keep on getting the notification. Some even leave their data connections on to keep on having, social media notifications in one way or the other. Now, life is running on social media. Updates, everyone looks at social media as the home to the updates. And if you ever want to tamper with someone's private life, try to handle their phones. People tend to treat a phone more private than even their bodies. So away from that, let's get back to our topic here. Close to 2,000 staff workers are available at the airport. And among these include station workers, cleaners, cargo, passenger handlers. We have immigration, port health, aviation security. We have security personnel, among others, and these total up to close to 2,000 staff members. If you've happened to be around in Tebe Road, you're definitely seeing the civil aviation bus that picks up most of these people. They pick up workers in the morning, like 2 buses in the morning. Then in the evening, some employees are returned, others are being taken to work during the night. So those are some of the employees that work for the Civil Aviation Authority in Uganda. But the claim goes back to the phones and the fact that some people have forgotten completely their duty. In that, I think we are, as a country, Uganda here, we are having a challenge with the fact that we take things too lightly. If you're to look at that, we take things too lightly with the matter of fact that when it comes to security issues, health issues, and what have you, because I think personally that if you're to look, if you're to consider issues here, and if you're to look clearly on the matters of what people need to do to continuously grow with character, we need to adapt to how we use our phones. The airport is a very sensitive part, and with the type of COVID, we can all understand and we can all agree that the airport is one of those key issues. It's just like any border point, because with the airport, it is managing those who come into the country, it is like the gateway to where you move out and how you come into the country. And one of the key issues that has always been highlighted is how do people manage to carry. We've had issues of back in the time when Ugandan people would be arrested at various airports for carrying drugs. And that question would actually be posed back to our authorities at the airport. Which security measures do you put there? How do you check people who come in? So it takes us back to the issue of the phones, because phones are very destructive and disruptive in one way or the other. You are a security personnel, you tend to forget that you have to do this at this particular moment. You have to do this at this particular time. And this is where we've actually found out that most people are having very huge challenges in identifying or fighting crucial points, or having crucial fighting. We have personal fights within us, in that you really don't want to get rid of your phone because you believe it may have secrets. And then you're a security guard, you're on phone, you're scrolling through social media, someone passes out with is carrying an explosive to the airport. Maybe you're the same person who's checking for the COVID-19, and you're the checkpoint whereby you either determine whether this person is positive or negative, and at the time you're disrupted by your phone. So the results that you're going to give us, we are not sure whether they are true enough. You may leave someone who is supposed to be in quarantine to actually move into the public, and at the end of the day spread the virus here. So look at that situation. So we are continuously looking at a strategy here whereby we want to help each other understand the narrative of using phones while at work. Essaawa zino otunulira generation gye tulimu, kiba kizibu nnyo okweggyako essimu ku mulimu. But it is very easy for you to work without it interrupting you. How? Because employers do believe that maybe you need your phone in case of an emergency. Someone at home or your family or friends can call you. Or maybe if at all your boss wants to send you somewhere, and it can help out. But then the only challenge is we wrongly use our phones. We tend to put a lot of focus on the phone and we forget to do various assignments. Do you have an assignment to do? You have to put in the work, you have to put in the effort. Essimu nekutwala obwongo nobeera nga tokyalina kyoyagala kukola. Twesanze mu generation nga amasimu gano galina effect ennene gye gatuteekako. I don't know whether you've actually realized as you're moving in town, nosanga omuntu ali ku kkubo naye kutambulirako emmotoka oba piki ali ati scrollinga. So omuntu ng'oyo osooka ne weebuuza kakati bwe bamukoona. Abantu abamu baba batambula n'omwana naye ng'essimu eri eti kati tafaayo wa gy'alaga naye afa kulaba kikiri ku ssimu. Nti ebiseera ebisinga obwongo bubeera driven by the phone, and if someone actually comes out and tells you a phone can be the cause of the death of man, it is definite, because people tend to keep a lot of secrets in the phones, and that is why when you lose your phone you feel it's like back in the time when guys phone snatchers in town were overdoing their work. You would see a very huge challenge. Abantu balina obuzibu obwo olina agamba ha bannaye simanyi nakumanya kino kintuuseeko. So look at that and try to build on a strategy in one or the other. Naye wantunuulira mu nsonga eno ndabira ddala nga it goes back to us, how we use the phones. So if you have to look at the general manager of the TEBE, that is, he's actually saying that no staff at the airport, unless permitted to do so, shall be allowed to carry his or her personal phones or other devices to their workstations. He warns that those found in breach of this restriction shall be subjected to disciplinary action. And if we're to talk about disciplinary action, there is either suspension, there is either immediate expulsion, and immediate expulsion is definitely losing your job. So these are the new directives. Because if you look at this, according to sources, the directive comes month after 4 passenger handlers were fired for taking photographs of the children of musician turned politician Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, Bobby Wine. And I did start up with my analysis on the same matter here, because when you look at, most people are actually asking themselves that how can people post photos of travelers? And the same way, the same sources say that some staff have made it a habit to make direct calls and receive calls on chat, or even chat on social media while on duty. So they've actually realized that in some cases, these people can actually receive calls. Imagine someone is your clearing agent at the airport, or someone who is actually checking your bag or things like that to check out, and you have an airport, you have to catch a flight, and then they pick a phone call and they put it on the phone like this, and they're working on you. It is one of the most rude gestures you'll ever experience in life. And in terms of the service sector, to people who are not, who definitely take life too serious, unlike some of us who are so compromising, who are easy to work with. But there's some people who take things too serious, with the fact that if you look at something and you think it is not too serious to them, it is just like, even something that looks petty looks too serious to them. So this is where people have been urged greatly to take their jobs seriously. I'm looking at, if I'm one of these employees at the civil aviation, I believe it is one of those sectors where everyone would want to go and work from, simply because of what is attached to the civil aviation, the money that is at the civil aviation. Everybody would want to say, you know what, let me go and work with the civil aviation. But if I'm to look at a picture and drawing it to my angle, I would say everyone should try as hard as they can to make sure that they can try to maintain their jobs. It is hard times, and I feel we should not let these phones distract us, and also the security personnel at the airport, because anytime soon someone can carry in something that can create damage to others and lay an impact on the economy. And imagine someone carrying an explosive on board. Imagine someone, and I know the security measures are high, but then imagine at the time when someone has been caught off guard because you're on your phone and what have you. Imagine someone carrying drugs, you know. And so in one way or the other, these are things that have to be changed within us. It is just personal discipline, if I'm to use a better word. And it goes back to what our response to that and the level of privacy. Why would someone take a picture or take photos of a traveler to others? You know, some people normally get out of the country to hide from maybe assailants who want to murder them. And then you're giving them clues that this one has actually traveled of the country and is heading to Kenya or Tanzania. And how would you explain that? So it goes back to everything, and let's have good usage of our phones. And if we're at our workplaces and the phone is not vital at the moment, let's try to understand how we can use these phones for a better way, and to get the better of our workplaces and of our employers. Anyway, that's it for the topic of analysis. Coming up after the break is Andrew Barije. Andrew Barije is taking you through the entertainment business, so stick around to get more of the entertainment. But Smart Main's business does continue immediately after the break.